can close on time tonight. But I think there's a lot to learn already, a lot to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So guys, it's time to ask questions. I can see brilliant presentation. This is mind-blowing, great learning experience. Awesome. So please, and if you have any question, you can just drop it in the comment box or just raise your hand. So by your name, you can just click on raising your hands and we can give you voice to ask Lanre your question. So I see Wemi Ungwama raised his hand. We'll just enable you to speak and just ask your question, and then Larry will take the answer. So Wemi.
Wale, you're a host, so you can give voice as you want.
Okay. Wemi, please go ahead with your question. I think I just gave you a question.
Okay. Thank you so much for presentation. It is so mind-blowing. All right, I actually have two questions, so let me just fire. I run a business that is called General Errand Services.
We can hardly hear you. Your voice is breaking up.
Very, very vague and maybe too enlarged relocation of people, household items, company. I'm also into Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
I'm struggling to hear you actually.
We can hear you now.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Let me just go straight to the question. Yes, let me go straight. Is it necessary to wait until you acquire all that you need to deliver value before starting your business, even when you have some resources to commence? I don't know if you understand that question. Now, the second question is about Nokia. Why did they fail? And what can we learn from their failure, honestly, in the technology communication business? Why did Nokia fail? What can we learn from them as regards to understanding your market? I don't know if I'm understood.
Yes, that's clear. Thanks, Wemi.
Okay.
Larry, so two questions. One is, do you have to wait until you have everything ready before you start your business? Second is, what can we learn from the failure of Nokia?
Okay, let me start with the first. I mean, my boss, his name is Jeremy Atonda, maybe one of the smartest human beings I ever met. So, like I said, I used to be in business about 7-8 years ago. When we're having our Monday meetings and I'm reporting what happened to you, I said, you know what, I've spoken to the customer and the customer says he will get back to me. So my boss will ask me, what are you doing? I'll say, I'm waiting for him. My boss will say, waiting is not a strategy. So I don't know who asked the question, but let me tell you, waiting is not a strategy. I remember that from 8 years ago. That's what I tell everybody that works with me. And I've worked with countless people. Waiting is not a strategy. I'll give an example on that. Remember the story I was telling about those three brothers that wanted to start an LPG business. Guess what happened? These brothers, they actually paid me. They paid me about 500,000 to do that job for them. Okay, so I used about 10 weeks to do the job for them. They paid me 500K. Around that period, I went to the UK also, and my boss also gave me 500 pounds. I think then 500 pounds was also about another 500K. I don't know. Do you know that when I got back from the UK, I just added that 500K with exact money that those guys paid me, and I started my own gas business. I didn't have to wait anymore. So even though they recruited me as a consultant, they wanted to get into the business very big. I learned some bit enough during my research. That was all I did, research. I called my wife and I said, babe, there's an opportunity in gas. Let's start selling gas. That's how I started my gas business. And I ran it for 4 years before I shut it down. Okay? So you don't have to wait, but you need to ensure that you have enough information to make sound and solid decisions. If not, you'll make very, very expensive mistakes. You don't want to do that. So please, you need to have enough information, but of course you don't have to wait. I mean, you will never have all of the information anyway. Even me speaking to you, like I said, I don't have all of the information. That's one. Your second question is, what happened to Nokia? See, it would be nice for me to speak in very good English and say this and this and this is what happened. Let me tell you something that I'm sure happened, and it will happen always. The problem with technology, unlike every sector, is what we call the risk of obsolescence. So unlike other sectors of the economy or other sectors in the world, technology suffers from an accelerated risk of obsolescence. So remember, my first phone was a Sagem. There's no segment in the country where you buy a phone today and 2 months from now is already old. It's only in technology. So in technology, because of the risk of obsolescence, you have to innovate like every day. And so it is difficult for you to be at the top forever unless you are fastly innovating and you are being at the cusp of innovation. So what happens is, even though you are the king today, if you are not fastly innovating, obsolescence will catch up with you. So even though you have the best phone today, by the next year, by that time next year is already old. So what I think happened was that even though Nokia was so big, they were so powerful, they were all around the world, their OS, then Symbian operating system was widely used all around the world, they were not fastly innovating, they were not able to catch up to what iPhone, Apple and Google, Android did, and they sort of just blew them out of the market. And so people who own the phone business today are the Samsungs and the iPhones of the world, and those Chinese players, and Nokia has been confined to the dustbins of history. I'm sorry, but that will be my own response for now.
All right, thank you very much, Larry. There's a definition of innovation I saw at some point. I defined it as staying relevant. That's simple definition for innovation is staying relevant. And I'm just trying to connect it to what you just said about Nokia. We have a few more hands, so I think I'll just take that up. Adekola, your answer raised. I will give you a voice to ask your questions. Please make it short so we can make the most of the 10 minutes we have left. Adekola, please go ahead. Adekola, I'm trying to unmute you. I don't know. You need to accept to be unmuted and then ask your question. All right, I'll just move to the next person. Chige Oti.
Some people are typing their question as well.
Oh, okay, I'll just check that out. Chige Oti, I just unmuted you as well. So, but while we wait for them to accept, someone says, how can we use price to replace exchange in business?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that was number 4P to 4E. Okay, I think Chige has voice, so let's just, okay, Chige, please go ahead. Hello? Chige? Chige, we can hear you, please go ahead.
Okay.
Lanre, please go ahead.
Okay. Somebody asked, how do you use price for exchange? So I'll give you an idea. Let me use a very typical example. You know, today, some of the I want to use car wash business as an example. Today, you need to go out and pay for car wash, right? Now that happens a lot, particularly in rainy season, because our roads are dirty, and every time you drive, your car is dirty. But do you know that a car wash company that will rather win, and typically most of the car wash companies we have, I mean, they're actually car wash that are built or linked with a bar, because typically the people that go to wash are more readily, they are men, and they go out to have a drink, they are watching football outside. I mean, that typically happens. I'm sure you guys know, right? So today now, people are not going out to watch ball anymore because of COVID, right? And let's say the rain stops falling, people don't have too many dirty cars to wash. So what will make people come out to wash their cars with you? If I had a car wash company, for example, I'll tell you, guess what? Come to my bar to have fun, and we'll wash your car for free, or we'll discount your car. Now, what happens is, instead of using price as an anchor for bringing people every time, use an exchange. So every time they come to the bar and they buy more, you can actually make your offerings, the bar offering, to be premium, so that you don't necessarily need to charge them for car wash. What will happen is that you will still see them come a lot, you would have taken, instead of taking another extra 1,000 to wash, you can take out that extra 1,000 from actually the bar fees, the drinks that they buy, the fish that they buy, the pepper soup that they buy, and other things that they buy, and without necessarily charging them for car wash, and you are still able to make do. In fact, you can actually even make more than you ordinarily would have. So what 4Ps to 4E is saying is, don't focus on a transaction, focus on the experience. Don't focus on just what you need to sell or what they need to buy. Focus on giving your customer a beautiful experience that your competition cannot replicate. Even if it tries to replicate it, because the experience is native to you, you will always be ahead. I don't know if that's the best example, but I just want you to be able to understand that price shouldn't be your only anchor. Today, if people are not buying your product, one of the things that people think is, oh, let me reduce the price. No, don't be like that. Instead of reducing the price, if all you sell is Gary, why don't you add something? So, let's say, for example, you have a booker, and people need to buy their food, buy their soup, and buy pure water. So why do they have to buy pure water? Why don't you offer pure water for them as part of the exchange and charge them a premium on the food? So don't always use price as an anchor for growth. You can actually use exchange as an anchor for growth. That's what that means. All right?
All right. Thank you, Larry. I will give Oluwaseun Adesanya voice. I hope you are there and ready. Oluwaseun Adesanya.
Sheo is my guy.
Okay, cool. All right, please go ahead.
Good evening, stars, and good evening, everyone.
Good
The question
evening.
I want to see is, how do we challenge the environmental factor? So take, for example, I'm talking about basic infrastructure that could have aided production and bring opportunity for people to add all the things that Lanre has been saying since morning, to add to effort that anybody is making. So how do we overcome that challenges, the economic challenges, the environmental factor, especially that become the hindrance to a lot of innovation?
My perspective to that would be that environmental factors are like the wave. You don't challenge it, you ride the wave. Okay, and I'm using examples of surfing. The surfer is able to glide because he's riding the wave. He's not fighting the wave. It's the same with the environmental factors. Now, what that means is that there are some things that if you want to be all bogged up about fighting it, you probably will never be able to solve it. I'll give an example. The power conundrum, okay? If you are trying to get the NEPA guy in your area to provide you power 24/7, you are probably going to be in that job for many years. So what you have to do is not to deny that you will not have constant supply of electricity, but to ride that wave and complement it to be able to provide the complement that you need. And that's what, I mean, it's not even strategy, it's a fact of life. That's what we've seen people do. Because the environmental factors are actually beyond you. You are actually a victim of the environment. I'm sure we've heard that statement before. He's a victim of the environment. I mean, in almost literal terms, that is what most of us are. The only way to not be a victim of your environment is when you ride the undeniable challenges or associated realities of those environments. So if our environment comes with, I mean, if we were born in Niger, for example, or in Mali, where the realities of our environment is reckless desert encroachment, you can't deny that fact. So you have to accept that reality and find complements that help you to progress. If not, you'll be fighting battles you can't win. And I mean, I shared this yesterday, and I'm sharing it here again. One of the best prayers that I love in my life is, you know what? God, help me to accept the things I can't change. Okay? And give me the courage to do the things that I can do. There's some things you can't change. And I mean, and that is the reality of the environment. So what you need to do is to find that confluence of complements where you say, you know what, if this is Nigeria, for example, in a acclaimed corrupt, seemingly regressive, decaying infrastructure environment, you need to find a confluence where you have a complement that delivers. I mean, you saw what Dangote is doing in Apapa. Dangote knows that government will not fix that Apapa road. They know. This is the reality of our environment. Dangote went to secure commitment from the government to have tax holiday just so that the benefit or his savings from tax is able to use it to build their Papa road so that they can run more efficiently and make more profit. And it's the same that they are doing. So you need to find that confluence between the inefficiencies of our environment, between the hardship and the undeniable realities. And so you can find that complement so that you can run your business. If not, your business will just die. You will die, you will die broke and sad. So you don't want to be a victim of the environment. Don't fight it. You can't win. Just find that confluence and complement it. That's what I would say.
All right, thanks, Larry. I think we'll just take one more. Sarah Anderson, I'll just allow you ask your question, and that will be it for the night. Sarah Anderson, just please go ahead. Sarah, please go ahead. All right, okay. I think that will be it. Sarah, are you speaking? Just to know. Okay, I think that's it for the night. Thank you very much, Lanre, for gracing the invitation tonight to share with us. I think tonight we had like over 150 entrepreneurs in the room at different points, and everybody has been saying excellent. Thanks for the insight and all. It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Lanre, for having us. And I think we might still have Lanre again towards the ending. Because we have a whole lineup for the next 10 weeks. And Larry has said that he would not mind also taking us on understanding your communication. We'll see how that goes in the days ahead, and will update us as we move along. Once again, thank you, Larry, for joining us. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Quick announcement. Yeah, thanks, Larry. So please, on the Google Classroom, the quiz from Larry's session is already up. So you are meant to log into the classroom and answer the questions. There are 10 questions and each with 10 marks. And so just to ensure that we are following and we are learning. So the deadline for submission is tomorrow night. And so that means you have 24 hours to log into the Google Classroom, take the questions, put in your answers, and you can be graded. And all those grades will count towards the final score to ensure that you get your certificate at the end of the day. All right. So next week, we'll be talking about understanding your audience. I will be having the team lead and manager for marketing, strategy, and analytics at Insights Publicis. You'll be sharing with us, Diola Kayode, on understanding your customers, understanding your audience. Larry, started that journey, and we'll go a deep dive into that next week. So get ready. 7 p.m. next week, we're back to talk about understanding your audience. All right. I think that's it for me. I think CM might have some announcements as well. I'll hand over to him now, and we can call it a night.
Okay. Thank you very much, Wale, and thank you very much, Lanre. I think that was very good. I have a few questions myself, but I've seen a few answers to those questions as well. Thank you very much for that rendition. We're looking forward. Somebody asked in the audience that they would like to know about this meeting earlier. This meeting will happen 7 p.m. every Saturday. If you're in the Google Classroom, there are about close to 200 people there already. You will see the assignments there. You will see the announcements there. So you can know that 7 p.m. it will not be a miss. We will remind you 30 minutes before time so that you are aware of the exact time for the class as well, and you can make the most